Hi, I'm Professor Allworth. We're going to be talking to some students today who are the recipients of Allworth Fund scholarships in the STEM fields. These students are incredible. Today, we're going to meet Ricky Baker, and he's great. Hi, Ricky.
Hi. I graduated from high school in 2018, and I received the Allworth Scholarship to go into a field of STEM of my choice, and I chose mechanical engineering, and I also chose to go to the University of Minnesota Duluth.
That's a great school.
It is. They have a great engineering program up there, very friendly staff. They definitely had the right stuff for me to pursue my career that I wanted to go into, and had the building blocks to spark that interest also.
When did you discover that you had this amazing knack?
I was probably 11 or 12, and I always wanted to do hands-on stuff. I wanted to be kind of helping around with anything, and as I got older, kind of got into vehicles and snowmobiles, four-wheelers, stuff like that, and that's kind of where it took me, was realizing that I wanted to go down something to do with that, but not really sure exactly what.
The very next thing you're going to do is go have an internship.
Yeah, so I'm currently finishing up my junior year.
Okay.
And then I will be taking this fall off to do a co-op, which is an extended internship. So instead of going for your regular 12-week internship, you're there for about 30 weeks, where you get real experience and actually work on big projects rather than kind of just be following around an engineer, you're actually being an engineer for that time.
Wow.
So
if you could work on your dream project right now, if you could build anything that you, and learn how to build anything you wanted to, what would it be?
I would say building a snowmobile completely custom would definitely be on the top of my list.
So talk about the truck a little bit. Tell us a little bit about the stumbling blocks that you encountered in this process. It must have been really overwhelming.
Obviously taking everything apart, remembering where everything went, and at the point I already knew that I was going to be going towards an engineering field, so kind of you get to understand how they did things back in the 1970s, which is when the vehicle was from. And so kind of taking it apart, you learn about the different ways that everything is done. And then obviously putting everything back together after everything got painted and everything, you're learning how things fit together. You're learning, obviously paint and body work is a different aspect from what I went into. But I mean, you learn that stuff is also engineered. So you learn how air movement throughout a vehicle was back then versus now, and it's kind of a learning curve as you go to kind of have that in mind, but also be doing the mechanic work of it.
And understand in high school, there was a particular class that really kind of got you rolling.
The class was AutoCAD, which is basically intro to design drawing, and it's computer automated drafting. And when I built my truck, I actually had to use the software to design a few of the parts for the headlights and the box of the truck. So that definitely sparked an interest.
So all of a sudden, you know, you had to actually design and conceive of these things first.
Yep.
So it sounds like you might have kind of a design thing in there.
Design is definitely my interest specifically, and it's kind of one of the things with engineering is that you need to understand that there's many things that you can go into.
Yeah.
That you didn't think that you could, which is kind of where I landed. But from the start, I've known that I wanted to do design, and that's the title of my co-op position, is design engineer.
Do you think of yourself as a creative person?
I do. I'm always kind of looking for a new way to do things.
Are you familiar with the Batmobile? Have you ever heard of the Batmobile?
Yeah.
Batman's car?
Yep.
Maybe, have you ever thought about like designing something like that?
There's a lot of work that has to go into it, and kind of resources is definitely another thing, but I've definitely thought about building my own custom vehicle, and it's kind of been in the works lately.
Yeah, well, and you're learning stuff. You know, I mean, playing around is sometimes the best way to learn.
Yeah, it is. You definitely have to mess up to learn, and that's something that going through college you definitely learn. And messing up doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it. You just have to figure out a different way to do it.
Why don't we talk a little bit about the process you went through to actually get the Allworth Memorial Fund Scholarship?
Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of your basic application like any other scholarship would be, but the essay questions were definitely more geared towards a STEM major, and they were harder to answer than your typical essay questions, and they were longer. So I'd say that the application process was a little bit tougher, but you knew that it was going for a high-level scholarship where you were willing to put in the work to do it, and once it was actually done, I felt pretty good about it.
Well, and that scholarship is going to obviously put you in a much better spot financially going through college than a lot of young folks come out.
Yeah, so on top of the Allworth, I also received the Best of Class scholarship from UMD, which gives me 50% of my tuition over the 4 years. And that they give that to valedictorian and salutatorian from high schools. So that definitely helped out, and then the Allworth paid for about another 30% of my tuition. So by the time I'm done, I'll be little to no debt after I graduate.
Wow, not many young folks can say that. So you must feel like going through the steps that you had to go through to do this application, which you obviously did very well on, you must feel like that was really worth it.
It was definitely worth it. I was definitely nervous about hearing back. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. You never know how many people apply or how many recipients they get for the scholarship.
Sure.
So I was definitely nervous but excited when I found out I got it.
Well, sounds like you nailed it. So would you definitely encourage your friends and younger folks to try to apply for this scholarship?
I would definitely encourage people to apply for it. If you know you're going to go into a STEM major and you can look through, I don't remember how many majors it is that they accept it for, but it's definitely worth it in the end.
If you could say stuff to a 9th grader.
I would say if I was going to say anything, it would be decide what you want to do as far as a career and figure out what your other options are related to it. I wasn't sure that I wanted to go into engineering, but I liked mechanics and anything like that, which brought me to engineering. And I think looking back and looking at what I liked to do in high school and looking at the STEM majors, there's a lot that you can do with a STEM degree. And there's a lot of openness into the type of jobs that you can go into, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand, is that engineering, nursing, everything like that, you can go anywhere in the world, you can work on whatever you want to work on as a career and still be in a STEM career.
So maybe encouraging people to, young folks to keep an open mind and use their imagination and understand that, there's a lot of options out there.
Yeah, and there's definitely, a lot of people are intimidated by math and science. And I think it's something that if you choose the right school and you choose a school that they have professors that will work with you, it makes it easier. Definitely intimidating at first. You get into it, you see all your classes, but once the classes start to kind of form together and you're doing everything at once, you understand that you retain a lot more information that you'd think.
So don't let the STEM titles scare you. Get in there and work hard, and you can do it.
Anybody can do it if you work hard.
Well, that's a great message right there.